C. difficile, or C. diff, has long been a known threat in hospitals, particularly for vulnerable patients already dealing with serious illness. But new research reveals that this infection is spreading at a rate far beyond what was previously understood, an alarming reality that points to a silent and persistent danger lurking in nearly every corner of the hospital environment. According to a new study published in JAMA Network Open, C. diff spreads over 3 times more widely in intensive care units than older estimates suggested, largely through environmental surfaces and the hands of healthcare workers. It's not just that this bacterium is dangerous, it's that it's practically invisible, highly resilient, and far more mobile than hospitals are currently prepared to handle. This is not simply a case of poor hygiene or occasional procedural lapses. What the study shows is a system-wide vulnerability, a failure to recognize just how easily and persistently C. diff can contaminate hospital settings long after an infected patient has been discharged. The bacterium's ability to survive for weeks on surfaces makes it an especially insidious threat. It doesn't just travel between patients during overlapping hospital stays. It lingers, clings to beds, equipment, and even the clothing and hands of healthcare workers, waiting for its next host. In over half of the documented transmission events, the affected patients had never even been in the ICU at the same time. That staggering detail upends assumptions about direct transmission and suggests a level of contamination that routine protocols are clearly failing to address. The implication is grim. Hospitals that believed they were containing the infection through standard isolation and cleaning practices may in fact be allowing it to spread under the radar, across time and space, through shared surfaces and routine contact. Even patients who test positive for C. diff but show no symptoms may still serve as silent reservoirs, shedding bacteria that can then infect others. Most chillingly, the vast majority of C. diff movement documented in this study wasn't even between patients, it was between surfaces. This means that the hospital itself, the supposed place of healing, becomes a long-term source of infection. The resistance of C. diff spores to common disinfectants like alcohol-based cleaners makes this situation even worse. While many hospitals rely on these products for quick sanitation, they are ineffective against C. diff, meaning even well-intentioned infection control measures may offer a false sense of security. Every handrail, chart, or shared machine becomes a potential vector. And while not every strain of C. diff is capable of causing disease, the same pathways that allow harmless variants to spread are almost certainly also being used by dangerous, toxin-producing strains that can lead to severe diarrhea, intestinal inflammation, sepsis, and death. Roughly 6% of U.S. C. diff infections are fatal, a horrifying statistic when paired with the revelation that contamination may be happening silently, persistently, and largely unnoticed. These aren't hypothetical risks. They are happening now, to real patients in real hospitals, and the true number of cases may be significantly underreported because of limitations in testing and detection. Even with genome sequencing used in this study, a level of precision not typically available in routine hospital diagnostics, only the tip of the iceberg may be visible. The real spread and the real cost could be far worse. The study's findings are a clear wake-up call. Infection prevention protocols as they currently exist are not sufficient. It is no longer enough to think of C. diff as a disease that simply moves from one symptomatic patient to another. Its reach is broader, its movement quieter, and its presence more persistent than current protocols are prepared to handle. Gloves, gowns, and proper hand washing are essential, but alone, they won't be enough if the surrounding environment remains contaminated and the full chain of transmission continues to go unrecognized. Hospitals must take this threat more seriously. Enhanced environmental cleaning, more aggressive testing, longer isolation windows, and strict surveillance of asymptomatic carriers may be necessary to break the cycle of hidden transmission. Failure to act could mean not only more infections and preventable deaths, but a loss of trust in the very systems designed to heal. C. diff is not a static threat. It is evolving, spreading, and exploiting every gap in our awareness and infrastructure. If we continue to underestimate it, the cost will be measured not just in data, but in lives.